Let's talk about Mel Oller. How's that? I was trying to think of it when I was asked to come give a little talk, how long I've known Mel, and I gave up trying to figure it out. But it's been a long time.
My daughter and his son went to high school together, and they were both in band. And so Mel and I were band dads. And what that means is you ride the buses to the games with the kids to try to keep them from killing each other. And then you help them get their instruments on and off the bus and all that kind of stuff. During the game, there's not much for us to do, so we just stand around and talk.
My name's Andrew Hoggett. I'm president here at Hoggett LLC. I've known Mel for well over 20 years. He came to work here in 1998. I've been working here my whole life. Took a brief hiatus to go to college, and when I graduated in 2000, I came back to work here, and Mel was in place as the vice president. He's taught me a lot of things.
I've always known Mel as a very good expert in the masonry industry. No matter what it was he was doing a good job. He wouldn't have lasted this long if he wasn't. But I got to know Mel as a person. And Mel as a person, if you haven't had a chance to get to know him, you're missing something.
He was a very friendly type guy, and he was one of the guys that came up and introduced himself to me at the time and showed me around the plan room, since it was my first time there, and showed me how it worked and how to get along in that plan room.
And that always really impressed me about Mel, was just how much he knew and the legacy he had from his dad and all the different companies he's worked for through the years, his brothers in the business. It's really fascinating for the industry to be such a tight-knit group.
All they see is the end product, and they don't understand what goes in to get into that place, and then when you're bidding these jobs and everything, you need to know about the things, the materials and all that kind of stuff that you're using in the job, because it affects the cost of the job. And Mel has always been very knowledgeable about that, and he's always helped everybody about that. I'm actually older than Mel, but Mel actually taught me how to be an estimator.
Mel's attention to detail and wealth of masonry knowledge has really made things work like clockwork around here. Bringing Mel in was probably one of the smartest business decisions my father made. Mel acted as intermediary for me, that I could go to him and say, Mel, I don't understand something, please explain it to me. And he was always there to explain it to me. It also allowed my father to come through Mel and say, hey, Andrew needs to learn more about this or learn more about that. And so Mel was able to provide some direction for me that way as well.
High integrity type guy. Mel is just a really quality guy. And, he's involved in a lot of charities with his wife and his wife's kids. And he's just, Mel is a really good guy.
Mel is one of the most involved people I know in this industry. He served on numerous committees. He served as president of Associated Masonry Contractors of Houston. He served as president of the Texas Masonry Council. He served on the Masonry Society. He's ASTM boards. He served in multiple capacities with the TMC, including helping out with the cost guide. And basically, everyone that I spoke to about this said the same thing. Whenever they needed any information, whenever they needed any help, they know that they could call on Mel, and he was always there.
He has always been involved in every organization, from local, state, national, anything. He's really attentive to all the peripherals in the industry. A lot of people don't know anything about specs and things that go on, and Mel really dug into that from the early going.
If it's got to do with integrity, honesty, a passion for his trade, a passion for the history of his trade, then Mel's probably a really good guy to get the award, because that sums up Mel right there. He is into the whole thing and the history of it.
But the love he has for all the stuff he does outside of the masonry industry, like I said, he's got as big a heart as anybody I've ever met. But that also goes over into his work. When Mel says something, he means it. His word is as good as gold. You can always count on Mel having something good to say about something, or something good to say about somebody. But one thing you never have to worry about is questioning whether what Mel says is correct, because it's always correct, it's always truthful. He's a man of honor, he's a man of dignity, and I'm a better man just for knowing him. That's all I got to say about Mel.